Minister of Justice not happy with an article in the Daily Herald. PLP on Statia says that they are the right party for the development of Statia and its people. And Prime Minister gives an elucidation on her meeting with her French counterparts. Those are the headlines for Wednesday, September the 23rd, 2020. Good evening, viewers. This is SXM Daily News, and I am Valerie Van Putten. Thanking you so much for joining me this evening. And as usual, we have a full newscast for you, so let's get started. In our first story, Prime Minister of St. Martin, the Honorable Sylvia Jacobs, gave an elucidation about her meeting with her counterparts on French St. Martin and the border reopening at this morning's Council of Ministers weekly press briefing. The Prime Minister said that the need to better synchronize and the preventive health measures and to promote a healthy St. Martin was another one of the topics that was discussed with the elected representatives.
This unity march, which took place at the Kobe-Bellevue border and ultimately led to the lifting of the border controls at the border control checkpoints in Bellevue and French Quarter, and the later removal of the containers at Kupakoy and Oyster Pond borders. After hearing the cries of the people for several weeks, after trying on various attempts to have the discussions at the state and government of St. Martin level, which proved fruitless as there would be no discussion in the decision that the state had taken, I'm very happy to see that the people of St. Martin came together peacefully and were able to show that we are indeed one island, one people, and if we work together, we will truly achieve that one destiny. In this meeting of French and Dutch elected officials of St. Martin, several points were addressed, such as the negative social and economic effect of the controlled borders on our people, on our businesses, on our economy, and our way of life, on our culture in general, the way we have lived for over 300 years. There was discussion on the need to better synchronize the preventive health measures and also promote a healthy St. Martin. The continuation of joint cultural and tourism projects were also discussed, as well as what was actually turned out to be the main discussion, the creation of a united Congress of the elected representatives of St. Martin. This idea has been brought forth since 2015 by President Gibbs and has been talked about back and forth. However, as of that meeting on Thursday, we have definitely come to a more decisive decision, let's say, to move forward in this. My legal affairs ministry is looking at the legal aspects of having us form such a joint Congress with our French counterparts. And the goal of that would be for us to have discussions on a regular scheduled basis to deal with definite issues such as what we were dealing with today. Even in cases where we know, for instance, in case of health and defense, certain things fall outside the purview of the collectivité, the ability to influence the decision still remains there. And I believe that, and the president also believes that together we can achieve more than government of St. Martin talking to the kingdom partners in The Hague and the collectivité with their representatives in the Senate on the French government or the préfet délégué, having these bunch of separate discussions and them going nowhere. So we're hoping that we can move forward with health protocols being currently enforced in the territory. We were informing each other of what is actually happening, the limitations of the enforcement, the differences in the authority on both sides, and that we all agreed that joint measures were needed to be implemented to be able to protect the populations of our beautiful St. Martin country.
And Minister of Public Health, Richard Panafleck, gave an update on the COVID-19 active cases earlier today at the Council of Ministers weekly press briefing. The minister also reiterated that although we are going through some unfortunate times, and even though the ministry is focused on the COVID-19 pandemic on St. Martin, they are also investing attention in the social and labor aspect of the ministry, which are of grave concern as well.
As of yesterday, September 22nd, 3 additional persons have been tested positive for the COVID-19. However, 7 persons recovered, bringing the total active cases to 62. The total number of confirmed cases now 594 from the beginning of the pandemic in St. Martin. 3 patients are currently hospitalized and the number of deaths due to COVID-19 is 20. Of the cases, CPS are monitoring 59 people in home isolation. The number of people recovered since the first case surfaced on St. Martin has increased to 512. 57 people are now in quarantine based on contact tracing. To further control the spread of the virus, CPS has tested 1,009 travelers arriving at the Princess Juliana International Airport and 1,894 people throughout the community. We are presently going through some unfortunate times, but even though the ministry is currently focused on the COVID-19 health pandemic on St. Martin, I would like to reassure you that we are also investing attention on the social and labor aspect of the ministry, which are of great concern as well. The challenges concerning these departments will also get the necessary attention as they are plentiful and need full attention. While government is well aware of the economical situation and do all what it is in its power to address this, the employers and business owners have to remember that the employees have rights and are protected by laws of St. Martin. We all have to adhere to the law and act accordingly. Social issues will also be addressed to see what and how to provide those that are facing challenges to be helped to improve their situation.
And now in news out of the island of St. Eustatius, there will be 3 political parties on the island of St. Eustatius which will be contesting the Island Council elections on October the 21st, 2020, namely the United People's Coalition, the UPC, the Democratic Party, the DP, and the Progressive Labour Party, PLP. As such, the PLP is continuing with their campaign activities. They are trying to convince voters that they are the right party for the development of St. Eustatius and its people. The Progressive Labour Party has as its priority for the island and its inhabitants, among others, education, healthcare, employment, the economic situation, and the infrastructure. Veteran politician on Statia and former leader of the PLP, Clyde Van Putten, spoke to the Voice of St. Martin's news department.
Clearly, education, healthcare, employment, the economic situation of the island, the infrastructural development, and certainly the constitutional future of the island. Because the Democrats has given the impression that we are shying away from that, but that is far from the truth. I believe the relationship within the kingdom, there should be a reset, I think more now than ever, when we look at what is taking place, not just on Statia, but in the other islands, especially the countries of Curacao, Aruba, and St. Martin, and the relationship with the Dutch and how the Dutch have handled the situation in the aftermath of the hurricane that you had on St. Martin some 3 years ago, but more so in particular the recent pandemic, which have impacted the world over. And so we believe very strongly that it is very important that we must keep the constitutional agenda front and foremost. I do believe that the people of Statia have never voted for the status that we have at this point in time. And I believe that until such time that the people would have said in a referendum that they want a different status than what we have now at this point in time, then I think that we have to discuss it, because people must always remember that the people of Statia never voted for the status that we have. We heard the Democrats are saying are actually taking credit for the status as a public entity within the realm of Holland. And I said that that is utter nonsense, because none of the political parties, including the Democratic Party, never voted in 2005 to be a public entity of Holland. It was imposed on Bonaire, Save and Statia. Of course, the Democrats were in power, and like everything, they always allow others to decide for them. But we have stated very clearly that it is the people of St. Eustatius that ultimately must decide their future. We have no qualms with Holland. We are prepared. We have shown willingness before, and we continue to show willingness that we are prepared to sit with Holland. But we have said over and over, it must be the people of Statia that must decide what is best for them in whichever form, be it constitutionally, economically, socially, or whatever the case may be. And so I do believe that when we sit on the table, it must be based on mutual respect and equality.
And still to come, Minister of Education is encouraging the general public to attend the SSSD online workshop. And we'll have the details with that story and much more with SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching SXM Daily News, and I am Valerie Van Putten. As we continue now with more news for you at this time, Minister of Justice, the Honorable Anna Richardson, is not happy with the article that appeared in this morning's edition of the Daily Herald newspaper. The minister wants clarity as it relates to one of her cabinet staff members that has tested positive for COVID-19. The minister said that neither she nor the remainder of her staff are experiencing any symptoms of COVID-19, and she expounds further.
I'd like to provide clarity as it relates to one of my cabinet member staff members being tested positive for COVID-19 virus. In statements published in the Daily Herald's newspaper today, Wednesday, September 23, 2020. A staff member of my cabinet last day in office was on Thursday, September 17th. On Monday, September 21st, this staff member was contacted by the Collective Prevention Services, CPS, who confirmed that they did test positive for COVID-19. The staff member then immediately communicated with me, and the cabinet as well as my person were contacted by CPS and advised to quarantine for the next 14 days, which we are currently doing. As a result, the Cabinet Office of Justice is currently closed and has been sanitized. Neither I as minister nor the remainder of the staff are experiencing any symptoms of COVID-19 virus. Allow me to repeat that. Neither I as minister nor the remainder of the staff are experiencing any symptoms of COVID-19 virus, as was mentioned in the cabinet statement, press statement. We are all currently executing our work duties from home. However, we take note that this morning it was incorrectly edited, mentioned, or a statement was indicated and published by the Daily Herald newspaper in its publication today via their various mediums. The text was shared via our medium partners, via Department of Communications yesterday, September 22nd. And we note that in the newspaper today of the Herald, the word nor, as it relates to the status of me as minister and the remainder of the staff, was omitted. Since then, the cabinet has been in contact with the Daily Herald, requesting the immediate correction of this very damaging error that was made. We have been assured that these statements will be corrected. Apologies has been expressed by the Daily Herald, which we greatly appreciate, and we look forward to the correction being published on all their online mediums and print in their tomorrow's newspaper.
And in news now out of the Netherlands, In its draft election program, Establish an Act, published today, the Socialist Party, the SP, devoted a brief and clear passage to the political relationship with Curaçao, Aruba, and St. Martin. The party advocates replacing the statute with a new treaty based on equivalence. In the chapter, A Just Country, the following can be read. The current kingdom of the Netherlands with the autonomous countries of Aruba, Curaçao, and St. Martin is in danger of being destroyed by political quarrels and mutual distrust. We therefore want a new treaty stating how the four countries will work together based on equality. The countries in the Caribbean determine what they themselves want to be responsible for and what they want the Netherlands to do. The SP would prefer to dissolve the entire kingdom. We strive for a republic. Until then, a monarchy in a democracy is only tenable if the head of state has no political influence, but is ceremonial. From now on, members of the royal family also pay their own private costs and tax on income and assets. A royal family costs money, but the personal income of the king does not have to be higher than that of the prime minister. Member of Parliament Ronald van Raak is one of the authors of the draft election program. And in more news at this time, Minister of Finance, the Honorable Artwell Irion, speaking at this morning's Council of Ministers weekly press briefing, gave a brief update on the business payroll support.
My first update is in regards to SRP. The business payroll support portal is open for July payments. This will close on October 2nd, so please make sure you apply before the deadline. A total of 690 companies have applied for the June business payroll support. For the month of September, 770 persons have applied for income support and unemployment support. 233 applicants were approved for July and August, totaling 535,000 guilders. In addition, I have pinned a video to my Facebook page and also on the government page in regards to step-by-step tutorials on how to go through the process of the portal.
And also making news at this time, Minister of Education, the Honorable Rodolphe Samuel, says that Student Support Services Division, SSSD, of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport is organizing an online workshop, and the minister is encouraging the general public to attend. The minister made the announcement at this morning's Council of Ministers weekly press briefing.
The Student Support Services Division, SSSD, of the Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sports is organizing an online workshop entitled Speech and Language Difficulties in Children, What Parents Should Know and How They Can Help. The general public, especially parents and guardians of primary school children, are invited to attend. This online workshop will be held on Thursday, October 15th, 2020 on Microsoft Teams from 6:30 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. The objective of the workshop is to inform parents, teachers, and the general public about the typical speech and language development as well as related disorders. In addition, the online workshop will also provide the attendees with tips and strategies to support children who are experiencing speech and language difficulties. Persons can register by calling SSSD ahead of the session and also by clicking the link for the workshop on the Facebook page. For more information, contact the Student Support Services Division at 543-1235 or email studentsupportservices@stmartingov.org. Again, the email studentsupportservices@stmartingov.org. The Student Support Services Division provides services to students referred by the schools. These services include, but is not limited to, psychological services, counseling services, social work services, and speech language pathology services. SSSD also provides career guidance services to students and parent education and information sessions.
Now, turning to our weather forecast for September the 23rd, 2020, a combination of unstable conditions, low-level moisture, and daytime heating will account for isolated showers and isolated thunderstorms across the region. A loose surface pressure gradient will maintain light winds. Long-period swells continue to influence rough seas across the Atlantic. Seas will peak at 8 feet for the next several days. Small craft operators and sea bathers should exercise caution. So, the outlook through Friday midday, partly cloudy with isolated showers. Now, let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, GEBE donates 400 tablets and laptops to the government of St. Martin. And we'll have the details of that story and more when SXM Daily News returns.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching SXM Daily News. And as we continue now with more news, NVGEBE, which celebrated its 60th anniversary on September the 16th, 2020, donated 400 tablets and laptops to the government of St. Martin, who will in turn distribute those tablets and laptops among the various primary schools on the island for students who are in need. As uncertainty continues to hover about the physical reopening of schools due to the COVID-19 pandemic, teachers, parents, and students are concerned about the fate of education due to the lack of resources to access classes online. In helping to relieve some of these fears, NVGEBE has donated 400 tablets and laptops. This will increase NVGEBE's corporate social responsibility and financial support to the community of St. Martin to $350,000 for the year 2020. In an invited statement from CEO of GEBE, Mr. Kenrick Chittick, who stated that our island has been faced with so many challenges over the past few months, and every child should have access to education. And now 400 students will be able to continue their education even from home. We understand that this is an uncertain time for everyone. We at GEBE are elated to be able to provide this level of support to help ease the burden and make a difference in the life of the student, parents, and teachers in the community. The managing board of GEBE have been committed towards education and sports over the years, the release reads in part. And President of the WIFO, Theophilus Thompson, speaking at the SAPP weekly press briefing on September the 17th, gave a brief history of the WIFO Union. Mr. Thompson said that the unity flag is of significance and that WIFO Union is a symbol of that solidarity.
The symbol of St. Martin, which is portrayed by the unity flag, is of significance. I must also say, WIFO Union, with this year making it 50 years in existence, is a symbol of this solidarity, because most of the employees in our service sector on the southern side, when we look at our data, we saw that most of the employees were from the northern side, or what we call the French side. our first awakening came in '95 when Hurricane Lewis destroyed the Mullet Bay. When we did our count as to how many employees would have lost their jobs, we realized that most of the employees were from Mullet Bay. And when we did a more extensive survey on the southern side, we saw in Phillipsburg as well, many of the employees who work in the service sector, stores and so on, a large number of them were from the French side. So the unity of St. Martin in terms of the economy, the growth and development socially could not be separated. So when the state of France, who is violating human rights, and the Kingdom of the Netherlands, who is also violating human rights now at this stage, and which is affecting the population, affecting the people of St. Martin, affecting the persons who should be respected.
And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening, the 6th Annual Sport and Creative Industries Open House, which was held on Monday last, September the 14th, was a great success according to those who experienced it. Head of the Department of Culture, Ms. Clara Reyes, featured some of the other artists that participated, including the arts and artists, drumming, African music, and the interdisciplinary art education by NIA, N-I-A.
So in the first segment, we talked all about what it is all about. So we introduced to you the idea of culture, creative industries, which has 4 main elements: the arts, media, heritage, and creative services. In this segment, we're featuring the arts. It's all about the artist. So here goes. You're about to see magnificent drumming by Suleiman Kamara, African music from the continent, as well as interdisciplinary art education by the National Institute of Arts, and finally, the spoken word artist, Faiza Tabamasu. So stay tuned, stay plugged in, stay connected, and follow us today at the 6th Annual Sports and Culture Creative Industry Open House.
My name is Suleiman Kamara, and I'm from Guinea-Conakry, precisely from the Mandinka tribe. Normally, I represent the Suleiman drumming class, and I teach people to play gemme. And gemme is a drum from West Africa, normally in Mandingo Empire. Okay, I teach the children and the adult also. So I teach by the school, for example, to the Regina School. We practice also by NIA in Phillipsburg, and also by the Hill Plantation by Jocelyn.
And with that, viewers, it brings us to the end of this edition of SXM Daily News. I am Valerie from Putin, thanking you so much for joining me this evening. And just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you so much for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.